Sometimes the line between perception and identity can grow dim, and when the athlete begins to believe the hype, the results can be devastating.
My identity was totally wrapped up in my diving. I didn't need anybody. I mean, I am going where I'm going, and I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna get there on my own blood, sweat, and tears. And it got me far.
Soon devastation would hit as Kimiko suffered an injury that would keep her from competing for more than 3 years.
What I was achieving in my diving, the results I got, the achievements I could get, all of these things that I was doing in life, my identity was wrapped up in. And so when diving was taken away from me because of my injury, I was lost. I was a mess because my self-worth and everything I thought about myself was wrapped up in what I did.
After recovering from her injury, it didn't take Kimiko long to reach a new pinnacle of her sport, becoming the U.S. Diver of the Year in 2002. On the outside, Soldati was on top of the world, but on the inside of her healthy, confident exterior was an insecure young girl battling a serious eating disorder.
The very characteristics that help make me a really successful diver, flip them over and they can become a liability. And it's a fine line between dedication and obsession. And it's hard to find that line. And I couldn't find it at all. It was just completely blurred for me, and it was completely gray for me because I became obsessed about, in order to perform better, I have to be thinner. I have to be the thinnest. I have to be the skinniest one out there. I have to be the most fit girl out there. And it became just an obsession, worrying about what other people were thinking about my body. And I thought, if I can control this, I can control what you and you and you think about me.
In 2001, the Soldatis moved to Houston, where Kimiko agreed to attend church with some friends.
I was pretty reluctant because I was very condescending towards Christians because I thought, well, that's a crutch, and that's for weak people. And pat you on the head, that's nice if you need that for you, but I don't need that, I don't need anybody. And it took me a long time to realize and to humble myself enough to realize that I can't do this on my own and that I do need help. And like I said, it took me a long time before I actually received Christ in my heart and confessed him with my mouth. And the best thing I've ever done. I mean, my life has never been the same. And I thank God every day for the grace he gave me to receive him in my life. But things didn't just go great. I mean, I remember after I raised my hand in church and I said the prayer, I thought, this is it? I don't know what I expected. I don't know if I thought, angels singing and lightning bolts, but I had the same questions, I had the same doubts, I had the same feelings. So I thought, well, what's the big deal here? And I didn't understand that, again, this is the start of a relationship.
Kimiko's walk with Christ was the beginning of a journey that would change her life forever.
I mean, the transformation in her life of just realizing that I don't have to do it all. God will take over some of this as long as I'll relinquish it to him and hand it over to him. It's not all about me. I don't have to carry all these burdens on my shoulders. I mean, it was just like weight lifted off and she walked lighter and it was just unbelievable.
And now that I have found Christ and I realize, you know what? It's not about the things I'm doing. It's not about the things I own. It's not about how many national championships I can achieve or making an Olympic team. My identity isn't wrapped up in diving. It's wrapped up in Christ. Boy, those storms are gonna come and pressure's gonna hit. And if you don't have your foundation in something that's gonna anchor you and sustain you and uphold you, such as Christ, you're gonna get tossed around like the waves of the sea.
With Christ in her heart, Kimiko was soon ready to begin unloading the physical and emotional baggage she had carried for so long.
As I began to seek help, and I sought help from a counselor and started getting into the deeper issues behind the eating disorder, I realized that it has nothing to do with eating. It has nothing to do with food, and it has everything to do with emotions, and it has everything to do with self-worth. And it has been a process. It has been a journey to truly find freedom from it. And until I found Christ, I did a very good job of keeping it under control. And I could control the thoughts, I could control the behavior, but really it wasn't until I found Christ that I realized I don't have to just keep this under control. I can be truly free from this bondage. Christ can reach down into my life and rip this sucker out and get this out of my life. Now, I'm still in the process of him doing that and working that in my life, because I still struggle sometimes with the thoughts. I mean, this has been a way of thinking for me for my whole life. And however much that number on the scale says, that doesn't tell you who you are as a person. And it doesn't define who you are as a person. And I do believe in my heart of hearts that I will be free from this sometime. I don't know when, but I do believe that you can totally be free. But you need help and you need Christ.